Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Praveen Kumar Sriram. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer, author, currently working as a Solutions Architect in Azure. So far we are working on creating various Azure resources to work with private endpoints. Today we are going to validate the connectivity of Azure SQL Server as well as Azure App Service. Let's get started. So this is the current setup wherein we have created a virtual network and two subnets which contains app service plan and web app in one subnet and SQL server and a database in another subnet. Currently, the public access to both SQL server as well as the app service web app is disabled, which means any person from the internet cannot access these Azure services. So what we are going to do now is we are going to add another subnet. Inside this we are going to create a virtual machine and its related components. So once we do that, virtual machine will be able to connect to web app as well as SQL server. Because by default within virtual network any traffic is allowed between the various Azure services even though they are in different subnets. Once we have this setup, we can also have public IP address assigned to the virtual machine and we can also have remote desktop protocol which is RDP. We can enable that port and after that anybody from our internet can access the virtual machine. And from within the virtual machine we can access the web application as well as SQL database. I have already created a new subnet and also created a virtual machine inside the new subnet and also enabled RDP protocol over internet. Now let me log in to the VM and show you how to connect app service plan as well as SQL server. Before that, first I will show you what problem you would face when you try to connect to app service and SQL. Let me try to access from my local machine. This is the current web app whose public network access is disabled. And this is the SQL server whose public network access is disabled. Now, if I try to access both of these, I will get error. For example, web app. You see, I got 403 forbidden. Similarly, if I try to access the SQL server from our internet, it will throw me error saying that connection was disabled since deny public network access is set to S. So right now the connection that I made is from internet. Now let me connect to the virtual machine which is part of the network. Here I am within the virtual machine which is part of the network. Now this is our web app. If I try to access it, I am able to access the website. Very similarly, if I try to connect to the SQL server, it should allow me. Now let's see how to connect Azure SQL Server. I have already provided the SQL Server name, username, and let me provide the password and click on connect. Yeah, now I am able to connect to the SQL Server and I can also see the database because I am now logged into the virtual machine which is already part of the same VNet where the private endpoints are created. So from now onwards, any traffic from within the virtual network can connect to the SQL server as well as web applications. Now, the web application as well as SQL server both are in same virtual network. That means they can actually connect with each other. That means the web application can talk to database with a valid connection string. Now, we have learned how to validate the connectivity of SQL Server as well as App Service. Now, the last and final one is to create and configure VNet integration. This is actually not required, but Microsoft recommends this as a best practice. The best practice is in the web application should talk to various other Azure services that are part of network. Now, I want you guys to try this out as an assignment. And in case if you face any issues, please feel free to post your questions in the comment section. I will try to answer your queries. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any feedback, please feel free to leave your feedback in the comment section. I will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. Jai Hind.